are back. Welcome, everyone. We are here tonight with the U.S. Paranormal Research team. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good, good. How are
Good.
you?
Cool, cool. Did you guys want to introduce yourselves, or do you want to just go into straight into questionings?
We can introduce ourselves real quick. We'll start over here.
Of course. Hi, my name is Kelly Kirschoffer. For a living, I'm a firefighter paramedic, and I've been on the team for about 3 years now, 2 or 3 years.
Long time listener, first time
Yeah,
caller.
yes.
My name's Nicole Ripa. I'm a school counselor. Been with the team for a little more than 2 years now. My name is
Cool.
Kelly Markle, and I've been on the team for 11 months now, so I'm newer at this table.
Proby.
I'm Jackie Moran. I'm one of the co-founders with Brian here, and so I've been here since day one.
Yeah, Brian, my standard. Yes, I'm tall. Anthony's tall as well. Firefighter paramedic with the team since day one, 2014.
Hey, I'm Anthony. I'm a IT manager. I've been with the team for what is it like four or five years,
5 years.
and I usually help with the tech stuff. So with Andy.
Yep. I'm Andy. I'm the team tech manager, and I've been with them since like 2015. And I was a firefighter for 10 years as a volunteer, and now I'm back in the mechanical world again, doing cool stuff.
All right, cool, cool. All right, for the veterans then, what got you interested and started in this field of research for the paranormal?
Okay, I'll take that. I've actually had a couple of personal experiences with paranormal itself. I grew up around it. My dad was interested in my grandmother. But like I said, I woke up to my grandmother standing at the end of my bed. And as I always tell people, that's really cool and all, but she's been dead for about 15 years at that point when that happened. So really don't know how to explain that. And I had another incident, about 2002, out on 173 at a car accident. So ran into something
Yeah,
there that
I suppose. I suppose being a paramedic and fireman, you've been called out to quite a few weird and crazy accidents and had some
Oh,
interesting
God,
stuff
yeah.
happen.
I've been at this almost 30 years as a fireman, and yeah, I've seen a lot of really cool stuff. So
All right, I guess go over to your photographer there.
Up until my parents moved up towards Antioch, I grew up outside of Chicago in Cicero, so I grew up with a lot of the.
Oh, I'm sorry for you there.
It wasn't bad then. Back then, it wasn't bad at all. But yeah, I grew up with all the legends and the stories of Mary Worth and
Right.
resurrection and all that. So that's kind of how I got into it.
All right, anyone else there? Don't want to give us an
No,
idea
well,
why, or
I mean, I had one. I kind of get into it back when I was a kid. I had to been probably 6, 7 years old at the time. Woke up in the middle of the night one night about 2 a.m. and went to the bathroom, came back to my bed, and I always slept with the light on. I always just had I just got creeped out. I was a kid. I didn't know any better. And all of a sudden, I heard my name being called 3 different times, and it got louder and louder as it progressed. Both my parents were asleep. I got up, walked around, scared the crap out of myself, and just ran in the room crying and screaming.
he still does that, by the way.
Yeah, once in a while.
yeah, yeah, it happens.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, of course. Um, you want to go next, or Kelly, or
Kelly, she wanted to go anyways.
Um, I got into this because I have a haunted house, and Brian and his wife caught some actual footage, not footage,
EVPs.
EVPs, which is on our website under a Bristol location, I believe. And that just verified everything that had been happening. So that's how I got into it.
Cool.
then we
I grew up with just nuances throughout my life, and my family we just accepted it for what it was, and I had my own experience as a young adult. And the team
was invited to a local high school, and I was helping coordinate a charity event for them to come in and investigate the high school. And knowing how interesting investigations are for me, I hopped at the opportunity to help the investigation and haven't left the team since. So that's how I managed to find my way to the team and kind of learned more about the field and
We
whatever.
adopted her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found acceptance into this group, so but learned a lot more of what I've experienced growing up and personally. So
I guess for me, it was more. It started out for getting into this. I didn't realize that there was such a big world in the paranormal field here. So it was. It started out with they wanted to do an investigation at a location, and how do we get there? And I was aware, familiar with the community, so kind of went from, hey, here's the background behind this location. And then, so, it was more, hey, do you want to join the team? Because, some history and stuff like that. And so I'm like, what do I need to do? And then got into that. And then, in all honesty, what I like about this is that we go about and it's not a matter of, it's just a goal to get footage. It's to prove, and because I'm a skeptic. So, I mean, I get feelings and stuff like that, and I tend to kind of logically process it. And they give me the opportunities to kind of see that there's more out there than what meets the eye. So
Right.
And then for me, for a long time I've been watching, the TV shows, and I was curious of how much of it is real versus not real. So when a friend of mine joined the team, I found an opportunity to get on the team and be a total, not really believing anything unless I experienced it myself. So I pay a lot of attention to the tech side of it, because a lot of times I don't get the goosebumps or the hair raising up, the feelings that some of the other team members get. So that's kind of how
He
I
will
look at
squeal
it.
like a girl with bats, though.
Yeah, I will.
and spiders.
Cats, all that, anything that jumps out at me. Women, mean one. None of you.
So,
Yeah.
with having such a diverse amount of people on your team and everything, do you find that you get more activity when you have male female team interaction, or with just male interactions, or female team interactions?
Well, except for the Masonic lodges. In
Yes.
regards to,
Right.
if we go to Masonic lodges and all that, we seem to get experiences as women going into there.
Yeah, they seem to get a lot more, almost anger, I guess would be the word,
Yes.
towards them at Masonic lodges, because we've done 3 or 4 of them now, and this seems to be more of an angry
Vibe.
vibe or presence towards
Get out.
females,
Yeah.
obviously, in
Yes,
Masonic
yes.
lodge. But overall, I would say no. There's really no correlation to all male or all female teams or a blend. Knock on wood, we've been very fortunate with what we've done investigation wise and what we've taught.
I do think personality, maybe not male or female, but if you are a certain personality, it may clash with the spirit personality. Reaper here, strong male entities do not like her. And so when we listen to the audio, she can get some
Yes.
swear words said to her.
Oh yeah.
And Brian,
Interesting.
By
As
living
children.
and unliving.
I seem to have a couple of little kid spirits follow me around, so
it's very interesting when you listen to the audio. Different
get
people on the
creepy
team get
I get
different
Yes.
entities.
I get the creepers, the touchy feely ones.
And then we have another team member. His name is Bill. Every investigation, his name is announced.
whether it be EVPs or through a spirit box, it's always Bill.
Bill.
Always.
Okay. So, with your going here to the side, with your touchy feely ghosts and stuff, do they do that without permission, or do you give them permission to do that?
without permission. I go one particular location. It was
Actually, in Whitewater.
yeah, in Whitewater, the sweet spot. And we were both sitting in the command center, looking at the computer, and I'm getting this sensation kind of going up my leg, and I couldn't understand what I was feeling because it wasn't like cold or anything like that. It was actually more warm. And so I'm trying to describe it. I'm looking at the vent, trying to figure out what it is. And then they got an EVP on the static recorder, basically kind of confirming it was creepy. He sounded creepy. It's on they got it on the evidence.
It's on the website.
Yeah.
It had a creeper after you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it wasn't Anthony.
Yeah.
Not this
So,
time.
when you do your investigations, since there are quite a few of you, how many people do you usually take with you on one investigation?
Depends on the location.
Yeah, I mean, we're a team of 18 total. And
Wow.
we try to rotate it around everybody. We try to get, everybody involved. But depending on the locations, usually the minimum is 4, 2 in, 2 out type of thing. But we've had up to 10 or 12 in a location, depending on the size of the building. So,
Or the time we've done multiples in one night, if they're close by, we'll
Right.
split a team up and go here,
And
have a
then
team go
switch.
here, and then we'll switch up half the night.
yeah, we've done 2 or 3 investigations in one night, rotated around.
Okay.
I got a question for you. What's the story behind Six Flags?
So we were invited over to Six Flags with another group, who shall remain nameless. And Anthony and I actually went, and we were at the, what was the building we just tore down? Victorium.
Yeah.
The big movie screen, like the IMAX theater.
Right.
And we were investigating in there, because there have been reports over the years, according to management, of things going on, and they wanted to validate some things. And the Victorium building,
Never heard that before.
yeah, a lot of shadow movement in the building, and we didn't really catch any audio, but we got a lot of just personal experiences. Really, it was seeing a shadow run across the backs in the chairs and stuff.
A lot of noises, coughing,
Doors closing.
motion detectors going off. What else?
Yeah, I mean,
The curtain.
the curtain,
The curtain, yeah.
the curtain's moving. Yeah, just kind of a weird place. Nobody ever died there. that We know of that we could find in the Victorian.
Oh, okay.
Not in that location yet.
But that was really the only location they had a lot of problems.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you do any research on the park's grounds? Not just the park itself, but
Well,
the
I
land.
was-
If you could have found anything on that,
I was
Like
going to make
maybe-
a comment about that because
go ahead, Joe.
I've been to Great America, that particular one in Gurney.
Yep.
I don't know how many times in my lifetime. I lost track of count, but I can remember some pretty bad stories about the accidents that's happened there over the years, and that would make me think that there'd be a lot more than just in the theater, and especially if that place ever goes abandoned. I wonder what it would be like too if they ever abandoned. Yeah, if they ever abandoned that place, because they had that one ride back in a long time ago. I think it was like the '80s. It was called the Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a theater there too called the Moose Jaw, I think it is.
Oh, you know the rules. You got to answer it now.
Oh shit! We'll be right back. Sorry, I forgot.
There's a theater there called the Moose Jaw Theater, I think it is, or Moose Lodge Theater or something like that. That supposedly has some activity in it as well. But Native Americans were big around here too. I mean, they covered this area. So
Well, I believe it was farm field
Yeah.
until Great America was built.
Well, I was just wondering, with it being on the northern end of Illinois like that, because a lot of the areas here in Wisconsin have a lot of the Indian heritage, and the effigy mounds and stuff like that. So that's some of the stuff we can chalk up to having activity as well. So that's why I was just kind of wondering if maybe there was
Especially along waterways.
like effigy mounds or anything that was there at one point.
Cut his back
Yeah,
off.
that's one of the things for my house is that my house is built on very close to Indian burial ground. They found two Native Americans in cross-legged sitting position in warrior clothes in the 1920s, and the farmers did, and they dug them up, the bones, basically desecrated it, and they're
Hmm.
at a museum in Kenosha. But there, that is helps to promote what goes on at my house. I'm almost positive, and we are right across from Wilmot Ski Hills, which is the highest point in the area where the Indians could go to the top and look down to see 4 different counties. So
Right.
all of that, and now it's gravel pit, a lot of that, but
Yeah.
which is not good for Native American spirits unrested.
Well, no, it's not because that's where a lot of the activity does come from with when it has to deal with the land like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's a shame.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
so when you do go out and do your investigations at locations, do you actually do any of the research to look into the background of it?
Yes.
yeah, actually, Jackie and Kelly
Jackie and Kelly.
mostly. Sometimes other people might jump in, but primarily it's Jackie and Kelly do our history background.
Okay.
And I always joke that I don't know where they find their information, and I'm not even sure if it's legal. Um,
It's all legal.
but the stuff they find on property, and it's like, well, it was bought in 1810, this, and this guy died here, and they're doing a massive amount of research for us, which is awesome.
Well, as a former private investigator, it's if you know where to look, it's pretty easy to find nowadays with the internet.
Yeah, sometimes though you end up going down different rabbit holes too.
Right, right. But you
Yeah.
gotta
Then
know.
it's like 4 in the morning, and you're like,
Yep.
okay, where did the last 4 hours of my life go?
Right. Yeah,
Well,
because you're chasing all different stories, trying to figure out which ones are true and which ones are not. You got to weed out all the crap,
Exactly.
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly.
And then there's sometimes you can't find stuff, and you got to go the old-fashioned way and go right to like state historical society buildings, libraries, et cetera, because a lot of that stuff still hasn't been transformed over electronically yet.
Right.
So then you got to go the old-fashioned way.
You start learning which counties, how far back you can go and where to go too.
Yeah, some of them don't have very good records either.
No.
No.
I found that out.
A couple locations where it's like, yeah, there's a house here, but nobody knows who the hell built it or when.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Hmm. We've actually ran across that and had a little bit of issues finding out some information on it.
Found out more about the town than I did the house and the property.
That's happened multiple times too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that was actually a house in Grafton
Yeah.
that we were looking into, private residence, and yeah, it's not easy.
Pretty town though up
Yeah.
there in Grafton.
Sawmill.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's,
is.
it's a pretty interesting town. It's got the Milwaukee River run right through.
Yeah, we were right. We did our investigation on Halloween. We were right next to the Milwaukee River.
Wow.
Yeah,
It was like
the old Grafton Mill.
it was like 10 feet away from the Milwaukee
Hey,
River.
That's what
Grafton
I
Mill.
was gonna say. I told you. Yeah, I thought it was a
Okay, I
sawmill
need to
town.
find that now.
Yeah.
Actually, it was an
It
old
was a
flour mill. It
Oh,
was an old flour mill.
Yep.
Yeah,
Little sawmill.
I'll need to
It-
get
it-
information
it
from
was-
you later because that's
it
a
was-
thing I
it was
heard
built-
too.
It was built in the 1800s, and it caught on fire at some point, and there was a few people that died in the place, but it was rebuilt shortly after that.
Huh.
You know,
Along my mill project for my photography.
so and we were the first teams in there, but we're not really supposed to talk about it much yet.
About the only thing we can do is say that we were there
Yeah,
and we did an
Yeah.
investigation.
understandable.
we've had a few of those.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, we had some interesting things
Even a few of
happen, but
Which says don't come back either.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it brings up a good point. We did an investigation in town here. Had us in. It was actually a really crazy night. A lot of really good evidence. A lot of great audio.
And video.
And some video. And when we showed the owner what we had, she's like, "Yeah, you guys can leave. Don't ever come back." I'm like, "Okay, that went well." You know.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty nice.
Well, you know, like I told her, you called us.
Yeah.
So please don't be
Yeah.
angry at me. This is what we found. You know.
So was it something that they weren't expecting you to find, or something that they were
I think she knew
like,
something was there. I just
upset
don't
with the
think
fact
she
you
was
found it?
ready for what we found. Yeah.
Ah,
We
okay.
got a lot of children's voices.
Yeah, there was a lot that night.
Some were very creepy in the basement, saying "Help me," "Let me out," weird things like that. So
Wow.
it makes you wonder what the hell happened there. But
Yeah, it does. It does.
Not- I've seen you've been down to one of my favorite areas. Okay, and I ask this of everybody, most of our paranormal people that come on. Um, I see most of your stuff is more about spirits, ghosts, so on and so forth. You ever investigate the cryptids? Because there was a pretty famous one there in Elkhorn.
I've done a little work with Jay Pachochin. I don't know if you're familiar with
I
Jay.
know. Yes, I know who he is.
Yeah, I've done some work with him. I've been out investigating in those areas with him. I know we went and looked at.
I'm also kind of, he's my cousin, so.
Yeah. But I've been out in the Kettle Moraine with him, and I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's been a pretty hot spot lately,
It is, and I don't
according
know
to some of the local papers
Yeah.
around that area, like in Eagle and Palmyra. Isn't it Palmyra? That's
Palmyra,
there.
yeah.
Palmyra. Yeah.
There's definitely something going on out in those woods. I don't know if it's a Bigfoot, but there is something going on out there. Some freaky things we've had happen to us. And as far as the Beast of Bray Road, I know we did a bunch of stuff up there with him for a while. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were
That's
just
the area I
we were
started with the team.
yeah we were up there for what was it 8 hours on the Beach Spray Road
Talking
on,
with the property owner that was up there.
on a farm. Yeah. So we have plans to go back.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out what we want to do with the footage and what we caught there, and we just basically interviewed the guy and
Looked at a lot of his
looked
pictures
at a lot of the pictures that he's got from his trail cams he's got set up,
and the casts.
and
So.
yeah, casts of the prints.
Nice.
So what was in since you've been doing this since 2014, what's like your most intriguing investigation that you feel that you've done?
Tower House.
Yeah, Tower House was good. It's
Church,
the church.
Church.
Antioch Schoolhouse.
Schoolhouse, yeah. There's a museum here in Antioch that we actually pretty much can visit anytime we want. It's a historical society. We forged a really good relationship with them, and every time we go there, the place never disappoints. We've caught shadows, we've caught
Feelings.
feelings, EVPs.
I watched Brian jump.
We watched a mannequin's hand do about a 20-degree
God.
turn by itself, and nobody thought
Yeah.
to pull out a camera.
Yeah, we're just watching like going.
You
Did you
know,
see that? Did
the,
you?
the,
Did
the
you?
hand actually turned about a quarter of its radius by itself. There were about 6 of us standing there watching that. And again, nobody thought to pull out a phone.
Of course not.
We had a chair. You know where lift chairs are like on the
Yeah.
wall.
Yep.
It was down position. It's not even plugged in. And we were talking about the lady who owned the chair, and the seat on the chair flipped up 3 times very hard, and then the chair moved up the track, and it's not even plugged in.
Wow.
It scared the living piss out of all of us. But I screamed like that Flanders. That's fine.
The one place. What's the one with the basement? The museum one. With the screaming. Nobody wanted to go down the basement. But we put a camera there.
Oh, that was up in Elkhorn.
Yeah. That. Oh yeah. It was a funeral home. It became a veteran. It was a funeral
Veterans
home, and
Museum?
then it became a veterans museum. That one.
Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with that Veterans Museum in Elkhorn. It was a funeral home.
I
Well, we
haven't
did an
heard of that one
investigation.
yet.
That's in Illinois. We haven't been that far yet.
No, it's in Elkhorn, Joe.
Oh, Elkhorn.
Yeah.
No,
Open
We
your
walked
ears,
by
man.
the
Come on.
basement door.
I was looking at some comments that came up.
Oh,
Something screamed at us as we walked by the basement door, and it wasn't an animal. I mean, it was.
and just standing by the door, just that feeling, and then caught it on EVP where it was that we didn't hear that part, but it sounded like somebody screaming and like they were choking or something. I don't even know what to describe it. That was pretty interesting.
I mean, they've all been great investigations.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get butt kiss, as you well know, but when you get those, the latest one we just got was the burn it. The voice, Dan and I were talking about spiders, and I don't like spiders, so I kept saying burn it. I was like, well, what would you do? Burn it. Just burn it. And you hear another voice go, burn it, real deep, and I'm like, oh. I'm like, oh. And then, Andy comes over and listens to it. He's like, no. Yeah. Kelly listens. She's like, no.
Game over.
It definitely was like.
Okay, so show of hands. Who has the flight response?
No, yeah.
One time.
Yeah.
One time. I want to be very clear. One time.
Twice.
No, wait, the church you took
Church,
off, the
one time.
shadow.
You ran out of the room.
But a
And-
good story, good
and
reason.
In the historical society, you ran from the side where the chair was to the other side of that wall.
I jumped.
You ran.
I cleared 6 feet without moving. The one in the church was with good reason. So,
Oh yeah.
I laughed.
I was literally, I mean, Jackie saw it. I mean, I was literally 2 foot from a shadow figure that came out of the floor and leaned over and was sitting in a chair. So I figured I can't sit anymore. I gotta go.
That'll do it.
No, I don't know why, but for me, I'm one of those that I actually stand my ground. You
Normally,
can
I
throw,
do.
you can throw a firecracker next to me, it'll go off, and I'll just stand there. I've had too much experience in my younger years that's jaded me to a lot, so it's hard for me to get spooked. So I think that's what makes me good at doing this.
Yeah,
Going out and doing the investigations.
I don't get rattled too easy, but every once in a while you.
But there are times you feel the ominousness in the air.
It's big, spider.
Says the guy looking at bats.
Well, hey,
This
I
big.
jumped to a deer. He
Got
loved
it on film too.
Yep. It was a tiny little fawn, and it was bedded down, and I grew up in the area kind of, and I should have known better. I should have. And we were looking. Oh, that was a deer's bed. And all of a sudden I was like almost stepped on it, and it got up, and I jumped.
We actually had a couple investigators get chased through a yard by a calf. So
Calf.
yeah.
I tried
Wow.
to chase calf.
No, it was a big ass cow.
Yeah, you ran.
Well, let's see. That response, I believe that would have been you that got chased by it.
Yeah, you ran. I went and tried to catch you.
Well, it was like we were sitting there, and we had
Oh,
a
man.
camera facing outside, and we had the autos going. All of a sudden, it said cattle out. Like, okay, weird. And we look outside. All of a sudden, you see these eyes. Like, holy crap, what the heck? And there's this big old cow in the backyard. Like, where'd this thing come from? We go outside, it's not there. So then me and Jackie walk around the entire fence line trying to find where this cow came from. As we're walking back, all of a sudden we hear, oh crap! Start running.
Oh man.
But I'm the
So.
Hey, I told you, the only thing I'm going to run from is the living.
Well, I don't know. The living can cause you to hurt yourself too, just like the dead can. But looking at your website and everything, I see you guys have done quite a bit.
Yeah, this
Over the
year's been a
years,
little
so-
touch and go like everybody else. But yeah, we've.
This year's been hell on everybody. I think with
Yeah.
this pandemic and not being able to get into certain places. I had us lined up. I had us all lined up to go up to a place in Madison. Still an open invitation to go in, and we would again another place that we would have been the first ones in, and that would have been a building on the university. But until
Right
this
on the
stuff,
campus.
That'd be cool.
until this stuff stops, then we're not going to be able to get in there yet. So
No, not with UW's rules.
Well, we cut through UW's rules as
I
far
cut
as
through
the
all
red
their red
tape.
tape, and as long as this one goes
But
good
once-
for us, we're going to be able
once
to
they-
get into other buildings.
Once they closed down because of the virus, there was no chance until that's over with.
Right.
And then, even then, we got to take particular caution because I've got a compromised immune system to begin with. Because in December 4th, 1995, I was diagnosed with leukemia. So I've got to be extra careful in this COVID crap.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it was so bad in my system, they told me I wasn't going to live to see Christmas that year, 3 weeks away.
Wow.
Right? And here I am today.
Awesome.
And I actually died like 5 times before they could even do the treatments, the experimental treatment that saved my life. fat and bone marrow transplant that I went through. So
Wow.
So, which one of you are the one that builds all the cool equipment that you can't find anywhere else?
That's Anthony.
So he's the one that was playing with that that
Oh, funny.
what was that, a voice box you were playing with that day?
That day was the portal, and it was based off of the Bill Huff, the way he does it. So he has his plans up on his website, and I just pieced it together, and just did it that way.
All right, yeah, I was just kind of wondering. So you're the
he-
tech whiz.
Him and Andy
Yeah.
both.
Yeah. Well, I usually watch the shows, see what they do, how they do it, and see if I can do it similar and a lot cheaper. Since we have, we have a lot of team members. It's nice for when people go out with equipment. So we try to cover everything that we can as far as audio, video, and just making sure we can capture all the evidence that we can.
Right.
And different
So-
types of evidence. I try not just to go with one type of evidence. I try to have proximity detectors, video, audio recorders, and other trigger objects that are plugged into some kind of tech somehow.
Okay, yeah. So, I heard you talking about an obelisk. Was that?
Yeah,
did
we
you
don't,
mention
we don't
that?
use it too often, but
Okay.
Yeah, once in a blue moon we'll pull
So-
it out just to see what happens. Just because like I'm not a big fan of it, but again, that one time with the stinking cow, it was spot on. So that's just,
I think that's literally the only time
Yeah.
it's been spot on.
It's had a couple moments.
yeah, but it's yeah. We
So
I mean,
what kind of equipment do you guys normally use? I mean,
Our biggest things are we use Tascam audio recorders. We're very, very fortunate that we've discovered those. The sound quality is amazing. We use REM pods and millimeters are really our favorite go-tos.
And video.
And video, obviously, yeah. But I mean, we've got a bunch of other toys like the Periscope,
Periscope.
or whatever it is. We got a few of those. We got some other things, but
Thermal,
we got the-
REM pods.
yeah. But the big ones are REM, audio, and melts.
We have two different
Okay.
types of SLS cameras.
Spirit Portal's nice because it doesn't do that
Yeah.
crap all the
they,
time.
they show some of it on their website.
well, no, I was just figured I'd ask
Right.
him.
Oh,
Got him here in person. Come on. And then of course you have Jackie there that takes photographs, right?
yes.
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 My day job too. So
Do you, so when you do your photographs, do you do burst shots or do you do singles or what?
I do a combination sometimes. Depends on where we're at. A lot of times I'll also do long exposures as well.
Okay, cool.
Type stuff.
Long exposures where you leave the shutter open. Okay.
And then
That's where it's where you have the shutter speed at the lowest setting and it leaves
Yep.
it open for several seconds to a minute, and then that you can get actually an imposed image on top of another at that point too.
Yeah, yeah. Also, people are walking through with flashlights, and it makes great for teaching people about how cameras and stuff work too.
Right. We've done that at some
Oh
of
yeah,
our
definitely.
presentations where we've shown some of our pictures. We're like, oh my god, that's a ghost. Like, no, that's just me walking through it, it's fun in that way.
Yeah, we have pictures of us on top of a hill in a graveyard, and it looks really awesome and scary. But it was, we're over 6'6" each, so
Just a couple of tall dudes in a cemetery,
But it,
But the guy with us is like, no, it's Slender Man. We're like, no, that's us. His arms are, and we're both doing
So what is your favorite areas to actually investigate?
anywhere, pretty much. So far, Gettysburg was amazing.
Oh,
yes.
We
we
went
wanna
to
go
Gettysburg as a team, and I gotta tell you, we had one of the coolest experiences, but nobody didn't expect to get the orders going yet. When we got out of the cars at Pickett's Charge, we heard horses. You could hear the horses clear as day.
Yeah.
And
Cannon
Then
fire,
you could hear musket
Cannon
fire.
it was really cool.
And that's one of those things, it was in the first couple minutes we were there, we're like, we've got a recorder, we're like, I don't have it yet. God, Gettysburg was amazing. We just did Waverly. Um, what an amazing place as well.
We'll be going
We're going
to.
to Ohio State Reformatory next year as a group.
I can't wait for that. I
Nice.
want that so bad.
We went to Edinburgh in Iowa, which was an epic fail.
Yeah.
For being labeled as one of the most haunted places in the world and scariest places, I literally think that we heard a pipe tap that whole night, and it was literally 12 degrees.
Yeah, it was so cold that I think it had a lot to do with how our main mind framework was. We weren't really into the investigations because we're all freezing.
Yeah. Hypothermia is actually a thing. Who knew?
And you two actually
Well,
slept.
you know they have these things called hand warmers and feet warmers and
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't helping. It was
Just because you got your own built-in insulation doesn't mean everybody does.
We caught
well, I know a way you guys can get prepped for the cold. You can come work with me for a couple of days.
What's that?
I said for you guys to get prepped for cold places like that, you can come work with me for a couple of days. I actually work. I work with dry ice.
Oh.
It's 109 below zero. I have to
Wow.
shovel it. I have to pick it up with with gloves. And,
Wow.
Our work environment's anywhere from 800,
Yeah.
1400 degrees,
Yeah.
depending on the day. So
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna pass
good
it.
grief.
Thank you.
Well, dry ice is fun. You can make a lot of cool stuff with it.
Oh, yeah.
So your team's pretty busy because you do events too, like tours, right?
Well, yeah, we've done some events. We did a Hump the Town 2 years ago. 3 years
Oh,
ago.
and yeah.
Last year.
We helped out with
No,
bus
last
tours.
year.
Last year? I
I had
don't know.
surgery last year right
Bus
after.
tours we did.
We've done bus tours for Ursula down in Chicago. We've done
The
We've done
Whitewater.
the Whitewater
Whitewater
Spirit
event.
Tour the last 2 years.
Yeah,
And
twice.
we've helped out the high school a number of
Antioch.
times.
Hump the
We've
Town.
done the Spirit Walk with that.
We
We've done
just got
some-
back last weekend from Ohio for
Ohio.
NICAM.
And we've done some presentations for the historical groups and whatnot. So yeah, we're happy to help, and we try to get around, much like Anthony.
I'll take the other humor.
But he's not
That's
cheap.
pretty cool.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you can tell, we're a bunch of smart Alex too.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I'm one of those that's an equal opportunist picker. I don't care who you are. I will pick on you equally.
Right, that's-
Yep.
We're bilingual. We know sarcasm, English,
Right.
insults.
A little bit of German.
Sarcasm, English, cuss words.
Yes.
Sarcasm. is heavy.
Always fluid in
A
there.
lot of short jokes.
Strange sounds on audio.
Yes.
A lot of gas.
A lot of
A lot of gas.
So we probably remind each other, mark it, better mark it.
Eat before you go on an investigation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to do the same
Yep.
thing because
Timestamp that.
Yep. Mark it.
I've known Mark for quite a while, and we go way back, and we get along by insulting each other quite a bit.
It
So,
helps.
Oh, yeah.
so,
Hey, it breaks the ice a lot.
so when we go out, we got to remind ourselves, okay, we got to be careful. We got to watch what we say. Yeah. Get this out on the get it out in the car on the way there.
Yeah, there's been a couple instances doing presentations where I'll get kicked under the table or something like, oh yeah, you're right. Yes.
So when you guys go and do your EVPs,
I'm sorry. Sometimes we just make it really interesting for the people who are reviewing the evidence.
Yes.
So we'll leave them Easter eggs to figure out.
That was me.
oh, that was me. Sorry about that.
Sorry you got pink eye.
So when you do go out and on your investigations and you do your EVP sessions and stuff, do you have a control recorder that you wear with you, or other than just using your regular?
We do a carry around. two people at all times. We have a pretty golden rule that nobody goes alone. You're always with someone. And we try to, I think we're pretty good about it. We tag everything. I mean, you bump something, your stomach growls, whatever the case may be. And there's usually a couple of statics around as well that are just set out. But the biggest thing we're trying to do now is getting each team member to make sure we identify who's on that recorder, who's carrying it. And doing a whisper and then doing a normal voice. Something we want to try to start doing, so that we have that. Okay, maybe that was Andy whispering, or Kelly or whatever. Because sometimes you kind of do the I don't know who it is, and we have a pretty good system for vetting, I think.
Yeah.
Whereas like Reed will take home a recorder, write down all the information. I'll listen to it, or Jackie or Andy will re-listen to it, or whoever. And go through it, and then I think that might be Brian, or that might be Kelly. Okay, we got two Kellys, so and it's one of those things that if we don't come to an agreement on is what we find, then we don't use it.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Because that's one of the things I want to do for us is get some more recorders so we can have statics setting out, and we can have a control.
Like Brian said before, if you guys really look into task cams, because they're
phenomenal.
You can
excellent.
Move those mics out and all that. They're directional
and get off the list.
What's the name on them?
Task cam.
Task cam.
TASC.
Yep.
Okay.
TASCAM.
You can get them anywhere from, $80 to $400, depending on what it is.
You can find some on Amazon for about 50 or 60.
So this one here I paid for. This one was about $100, but it's got Wi-Fi in it, and you can record it from here to your phone too.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
Well, we
got little ones.
I learned a valuable lesson this weekend. Or what was it? Halloween, this past weekend.
Yes, Halloween this past weekend.
And we should have had we missed something that was really cool that happened, and I wish I would have had a body cam on at the time that it happened. We were walking down the hallway, and one single light just flickered on us. And if you use the switches, 3 lights in that hallway come on. This was just one middle light. We couldn't get it to redo it.
No.
We could. And it's like, what? We couldn't explain it, but we have no evidence of it either now, because we were just walking out to have a smoke, to go outside,
That's usually when stuff like that happens, though.
I know, it sucks.
Yeah,
too.
it is.
It really does.
Well, another thing I was wondering too, this is something that I've been trying to do when we do our investigations, is make sure that if there's multiple bathrooms, that we only use one specific designated bathroom. Because we actually had something happen on this, on our investigation, where we were sitting right next to a bathroom doing an EVP, and all of a sudden the water in the bathroom came on. And none of us had went in there and used it at all that night, because it made sure that was on the first floor, and the one we've been using was on the second floor.
Oh.
That happened to us at the church.
Mm-hmm.
The faucet went on and the light switch went on.
Yeah.
And we were sitting in the other room, and he's like, "Who turned on the light?" I'm like, "We're all in here, so it's none of us." The light went on, and you could hear the faucet running. I'm like, "Okay, cool." But that was the same place that we heard the little girl's voice too in there. And I asked, "Is there anybody here?" And it said, "Hello, I'm here." So,
yeah.
And because I like talking with groups like you guys here are, and other people that we've actually interviewed, because I learn from you guys and I learn from them, because that's why I ask some of the questions I do, because I want to know how your styling is, and then that way I can maybe find something in your styling that I can incorporate into ours.
Oh, exactly.
And make us a little better.
You can find something different, how to do things, and evolve something different. And
Technology
We're
involved.
testing out new stuff.
Yeah.
We got really expensive cameras, and then we got really cheap cameras that we can put out everywhere. So, we're constantly evolving and changing the way we do things.
Technology keeps changing too. So
That's true. Technology keeps changing. And then you do have with technology's changes, you do have cameras actually getting smaller and better,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and being able to hook up as a Wi-Fi device at the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
time, so you can actually hook it through a laptop or cell phone.
Well, I haven't used these, but I want to know what you guys think because you've been doing this longer. Um, of those apps that people are coming out with on cell
We don't
phones.
use them.
Not a
We
fan
don't
of
use them at
apps.
all.
No.
Yeah, I'm too. It's too easy to program that stuff to make
Right,
it
right.
Exactly.
They got their own built-in algorithm.
right.
It's-
That's.
you-
I was just.
You can't.
I had to ask
Yeah.
because I see that stuff come out, on Facebook ads all the
There are a
time.
couple of groups that we've actually interviewed that say that they use them, and
That they like them,
I
and
don't
it's
trust
like
them.
I-
It's a cell phone. What is it going to detect?
It clearly states that it's there for entertainment purposes. So
Yes,
well,
but the whole thing is these are cell phones. What
Right.
are they? I mean, they don't have any
antennas,
other
gauges.
than having the ability to receive Wi-Fi and data from the towers. What else? What else
Well,
can they do? They're not going to be able to send out a signal to scan in the area.
Right.
So, that's why when anybody says anything about those apps, I just kind of shake my head and it's like whatever. It's
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna, if you could use one and have something else to correlate it, I might try it. But if you have other tech equipment that you can use with it, like a REM pod or like an EMF reader, even, and it can correlate whatever's going on,
Right.
maybe then. But the chances are slim.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I would ever use is like the cameras on it or the voice recorder on it.
that's it.
Besides that, I wouldn't use it for anything else.
I mean, that's the only thing it's good for in our field. Is for the camera and the voice recorder. I mean, because everybody's got their cell phone on them all the time. So
normally, yes.
normally,
I don't. As
I
I
still-
started this and joined the team, I went and fried 3 phones. So I don't have my phone turned on when I go on investigations. I
Fried
don't get
3
phone to-
phones?
Yep.
Yeah.
How did you fry 3 phones?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I went to St. Augustine and went on
I've
a
heard of
ghost
that
tour
place.
and got a lot of really cool footage. Tried sending it out to Brian because I was just newly meeting people here, and went on another trip. After that one fried, bought another one, went through 2 more, and then I'm like, I'm not even turning the things on when I go on these investigations.
Wow.
No, I can put down.
Oh, well, that's good to know in case we ever go there because I've heard of that place. It's kind of. So I got another question. So, what kind of places are on your bucket list for the future that you really, really, really want to go to?
Oh, that list is so long.
Yes.
I want to go to Springs, Sanitarium,
Alcatraz.
Eastern State.
Alcatraz would be great. Eastern State,
Ireland.
Missouri State,
Oh,
all of
Winchester
Europe,
House.
pretty much.
Winchester
I mean-
House.
Winchester House. I mean, there's a huge list.
Oh yeah, the Winchester House. would
The
be
good thing is
fantastic.
that with our team,
Yep, I
we
love them.
really
I
try to
love
go
them.
to one of those spots a year. So
Yeah.
we start planning out a year in advance. As soon as we get back from one of
Yep.
the larger trips,
Yep.
we start
Where
talking
we
about
going now?
where we're going next.
Yeah.
Alcatraz would be really cool.
Mhm.
Yes. That would be a very long car ride, though, with some of you people.
Especially,
Oh.
especially over the bay.
My,
Dude.
both my
Do you
uncle
believe-
and my aunt went there a few years back, and my aunt's a nurse, and she went in there, and she says, she called me up after they got back to the hotel, and she says, "Yeah, you got to come out here because this place is creepy." It was just.
Do you think
weird.
Do you think the guys that escaped survived?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. After watching all and reading up on them and doing my own research on them, I have no doubt they're probably sitting high in Mexico somewhere and living up what else they got left of their life.
Well, by now they might have died of natural
Very
causes.
true.
Right,
Very
right.
true.
But yeah, I believe the same thing. Yeah, I've been fascinated with that kind of like the DB Cooper type stuff too.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Judy Cooper is another interesting one.
Well, I believe he made it. You know,
Yeah. I don't know.
I
They
mean,
found
it-
probably money, but
anything's possible.
Oh, definitely.
well, yeah. one bullet killed Kennedy, right?
Yeah.
I don't
Just
see
a speed bullet, I might add.
He was a patsy. Uh, in my eyes. I don't know.
Oswald.
Oswald. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I like those conspiracy theories too. You know, I get into that stuff. I've done a
get
couple.
at 3 o'clock in the morning at the firehouse, get my tinfoil hat, put that on, and sit in front of the computer because I'm wide awake.
He's
Yeah.
not. He's not
He's
lying.
not lying. He doesn't
I know
sleep.
sleep's overrated. So.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Yes.
I'm up at stupid 30 in the morning just so I can be at work
Is it?
on time, and
Right.
then I go to bed at stupid o'clock. So
Uh-huh.
I don't know. There's
Sounds
many
about
many a
right.
times there I've only gotten like 4-5 hours sleep and have to work an entire day on it.
Well, when we got back from Waverly, we were up. Well, let's just stay up till the sun comes
Yep.
up, and
3 nights in a row, we watched the sun come up.
Yep.
So,
it was a
Wow.
long week.
Yeah.
nothing better going out.
I
the
can
route.
see that happening. Yes.
Go.
Well, when we did our show in Grafton, I live in Fort Atkinson, so I'm almost like I'm 30 something minutes away from him. I went and picked my daughter up, who lives on the other side of Madison in Poinet. That's an hour from me, and I picked her up, and then that's another hour to his house, and then from his house to Grafton's almost an hour.
Yep.
So I go pick her up, pick him up. We go up to Grafton, and we're up there until, what was it, 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, we were out there until 1
Like,
o'clock in the morning investigating that.
2 o'clock in the morning doing the investigation. And then, of course, at that time changes. All right, so we gain another hour because you got to set it back.
Right.
And then after all that, I take him back home, and I take her back home, and I get back home. I got back home at about 5:30 that morning, and that was after the time change. A lot of driving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wheel time.
Done that.
So I know how you guys are feeling when it comes to that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I get a couple hours a night. I'm good. So,
But I don't mind it because the exhilaration of it and the ability to go and do this type of things with the investigations, I love it.
No,
It's exhilarating to go do it.
I can't wait to retire and just do this full time.
Well, the other thing is you learn a lot of history that you don't know. I mean, I grew up in Madison. I grew up in and around Madison, and I thought I knew a lot. No.
Oh, absolutely. The stuff we found out just about the town that,
Yeah.
Antioch, when we did the Hunt the Town thing and investigated it, it's like, oh, that's very cool stuff. We didn't know that had that here.
Well, it's also fun when you're doing that, and the historian gives you little clues and basically challenges you too.
Yeah.
She did that to me on a couple things, and I actually found more information than she even knew.
That's kind of.
I've had that happen where I knew more than the person.
I
Yeah.
think when stuff like that happens, that's very satisfying and gratifying
Yes.
because it makes you feel like you've accomplished a lot more than what the people who are trained to do it has done.
Oh, froze.
So.
Brian's got to come.
But one of the things I actually want to do, which I'm actually trying to get us able to do, is have you guys heard of Sanatorium Hill up in Madison,
No.
off Northport?
Sort of.
Yeah, Dana mentioned it.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah. I haven't looked into it though, but
I have been trying to find out who I need to talk to, since it's turned into a state records
I
building.
told you, I got a hold of those people. They don't want to.
I don't
They're
want.
not.
I know. There's somebody I can talk to. I'm sure of. But I don't want to do the first, second, third floor. I want to do the basement. That's where I want to focus everything on, because all the reports I've ever heard from people talking about that have actually been in the building,
Everything
talk about
happens
the
in the basement.
because that's where the tunnels that used to go out to the areas is at. So
Well, I knew somebody that worked there, so and she told me some of the stories that happened during her breaks when they were down by the tunnels in the basement. Because they take their breaks down there instead of going outside in the wintertime. So,
yep.
but we've investigated the outside of that place quite a bit.
Is
That
it
was one of
tall?
our first. Huh?
Is it a tall basement? Because that's a thing for Anthony and I.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure how
I've never,
tall it is. Never been
I've
in
never
there, never
been in
seen
the,
it.
I've never been in the basement, but I was in the building a couple of times back when the welfare offices and stuff were up there because I used to work security, so I worked up in that building, but I never had to go to the building into the basement because I was always watching like the front door and
They're
waiting
forever
room
on their
area.
concussion protocol because they're always hitting their heads.
Yeah, it's not a true investigation until one of us hits our heads.
It's true.
It's fun to hear it when they hit metal pipes.
But I know it's a very old building that was built as
It was
a
built in the 1920s, wasn't it?
something like that. It was originally a TB hospital.
And then
I
it
think
became
it was
a drug institute or a drug rehab facility or something, wasn't it? Or...
No, it's Human Services. It's Department of Human Services. It's basically what it is their Department of Records and all that other stuff. Just their executive offices are in there. No, they don't have people coming and going a lot.
Well, the research that I came across, I think it was after it became a TB clinic, or it was a drug rehab.
It might have been after that.
So yeah, so you kind of wonder what kind of.
But most of the activity and stories surround the fact that it was a TB hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it also next to it there's a church with a cemetery behind it, and most of the graves back there looked like they were children.
Yeah, we walked through that cemetery
That
when we
were
were
like
doing our investigation
really
on the
old,
grounds.
1800s on some of them. I think there was a couple that dated back to 17 something. You can see the remnants in the summertime. You can see the remnants of the outside cement pools from the hospital that they used to use for therapy.
Oh,
that's cool.
What's left of them.
Huh,
But I grew up around there too. I used to play up in those woods that's behind it, but I never knew any of the stories. It's like the cemetery on Speedway Road. There's a Forest Hill Cemetery. It's got a lot of history in it and a few books. And I used to play Ghost in the Graveyard there when I was a child because my grandma lived right across the street on Speedway Road.
Wow.
And never knew, but it's one of the oldest ones because it's got Civil War. It's got, basically every war from the Civil War on in there. Soldiers buried.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
So anyway, no, go ahead.
I was
Sound
just
like
gonna say, we were talking about the graveyards. Anthony and I were in Whitewater and had Spirit Box going, and we were at the grave of a gentleman named Eli Pierce, who's a Revolutionary War veteran who's buried in Whitewater. And we asked, "Can you tell us your name?" And the spirit portal, clear as a day, said Eli, and it was sitting right by his grave, which was kind of freaky.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, we thought it was pretty cool. We were very excited.
I like it when we can catch evidence like that.
Yeah.
And it helps when you're getting evidence like real time, especially when you're an investigator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that part where you have to go back and listen to hours and hours or watch hours of video to see if you caught anything. That's the boring part. But like if you can catch it while you're at an investigation, and that's why we have so much equipment out there that some of it's real time, some of it's passive, and you're not going to see it until later. Yeah, we really like this the portal because right on command it will say something every now and then.
Being not passive.
We're all very passive here too.
Aggressive.
Passive aggressive.
More aggressive, slightly passive.
Or just straight up mean.
Because I definitely need some more stronger women in my life, right?
Yeah, there's not much passive aggressive. It's just aggressive.
She called us names I didn't even know what they were.
I'm in education.
Well, you know,
Was that that?
you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out for educated women. They know words that we don't.
Right?
Yes.
And the way she strung them together, whoa.
It just makes you sit there and go, "What?"
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Agreed.
All right, Joe. What else you got?
I don't have
I'm
anything.
handing it
right
off
now.
to you now.
I don't have anything except at 7 o'clock. We're done. We're supposed to be done.
All right,
Okay.
so you want to plug your website and because we have it scrolling
Right there.
here.
I saw
But
that.
you
Thank you very much. We are USParanormalResearch.com is our website. We're on Facebook, Instagram,
And YouTube.
and
And
YouTube,
YouTube.
which we're trying to get into that.
We're working
a little
on.
bit, but
It's a
Yeah.
process.
we're
Yeah, please
gonna be-
subscribe to them on YouTube.
we're,
So is
hopefully-
all these is the YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, are they all accessible from your main website homepage?
Yep.
Yep.
Everything is
Okay.
linked.
And we're going
Yeah.
to hopefully, like we do, start doing a webcast here soon through another platform, which we're working out the details
Yep.
on a bi-weekly thing. So,
Yep.
Cool.
That'll be good.
It'll be fun.
but don't hesitate to call us if you need partners to go investigating with you in Madison.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh yeah,
All
anytime.
the way.
I
We'll
mean,
bring the trail.
when we did our real first crossover investigation this past weekend, Halloween Day, the Grafton Mill, and there's plans for another location with that group plus somebody else, I guess now. So it's looking like it could be more fun. You know, we had another one to go back to Bray Road with a guy named, you might have heard of him because he's
Actually, he's
also
on
from
here.
he's from Illinois. His name was Dale.
Is Dale
Dale
Kaminsky.
no,
Kazmarek.
Kazmarek.
Sorry, can't even say it.
Dale Kazmarek right
It'll
here.
be fine.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had plans to go back to Bray Road with Dale about a month or two ago, and Illinois put a travel ban on Wisconsin, and you know didn't want to take chances, so you know that got
So we
postponed.
postponed it.
But that's also an open invitation for us to go back there next year. You know, hopefully when it's warmer again.
Right.
Or I don't do cold so much.
And not have to worry about this stupid virus.
Yeah, we can spend the night. We got a chance to spend the night, but we didn't have a tent with us, so
We weren't prepared
we weren't
when
prepared.
we went out there.
Yeah.
We were not prepared for him to say, "Hey, you guys want to stay the night and do an investigation?" Wow, thanks for the
All right.
invite, but
Be sure to check them out on YouTube. Subscribe. Also, don't forget it's utterlyinsaneproductions.com. You can check us out, and we'll be back Friday with Matthew Bennett from Des Moines Paranormal.
Cool.
Cool. Well, thank you so
You
much
guys
for having us on.
yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you for coming on and talking with us. Appreciate it.
You can stick around if you still want to chat a little bit. You can stick around, but I just like to end this. All right,
Sure.
here we go.